stirring the strawberry watermelon flavored creatine with K-Bar tactical chopsticks, linked down below, using the Vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your creatine at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am sexy, well, no longer Santa. I'm the sexy fisherman. Does that work? I'm only saying that because that's what an old girlfriend used to call me. We'll get started, but first, creatine. Nice. Nice. Ending the year strong. Starting the new year strong with the Daybreak Show. In February of 2024, this channel will have been in existence for 8 years. Some of you have been with me right from the beginning. You came in during the men's grooming years. You stayed with me through the pipe years and the philosophy years. The beginning of the Daybreak Show, speaking at various venues, doing various handy things, crafty things, cooking, roasting coffee, cooking meat on a stick, table for one. We are ending 2023 strong and going into 2024 faster. Are you with me? Are you with me? Sultan of Savage says it's amazing to see not only my following grow, but George Bruno's as well. YouTube has been a little slower this week, but Instagram took off. Over 600,000 views this week alone. George Bruno has also hit over 15,000 followers on Instagram. Congratulations, George. That's from Samuel Risby, the Sultan of Savage. You have seen his clips. He's exploding. I told you he would. You could do the same. All you got to do is upload my content little by little by little, consistently, a little bit, every day. Just make it part of your day. Put your affiliate links on it. You make the money. Just found a new channel. I don't even know her name. The channel is called Crappy Childhood Fairy. And man, she is good. And the name of this video is called Removing Mental Blocks to Earn Income That's Needed and Fair. She says under-earning is a trauma symptom. Wow. I mean, just that alone caught my eye. Just that alone. You are not earning enough because of past trauma in your life. The programming in your childhood. Is that a possibility? I'm not sure. I'm watching more of her, and as a former therapist for over 2 decades and a certified advanced grief and loss therapist, this is very interesting to me. And the channel is called Crappy Childhood Fairy. Tell her I sent you. Just your weekly reminder that Drop Dead Faithful is always better than Drop Dead Gorgeous. I do not care how beautiful, hot, pretty your girlfriend or wife is. It matters not. Do not tell me how hot she is. I don't care. You know what's hot? Loyalty, faithfulness. Better a faithful 6 than an unfaithful 8, 9, or 10. Your priorities are screwed up because you got caught up in this manosphere, red pill bullshit that you need an 8, 9, or 10. Absolutely friggin' superficial, skin deep bullshit. You want faithful, you want loyal. You want someone when they look at you, you know they love you just, not from their words, but just from the way they look at you, by the way they talk to you, by the way they touch you, by the way they hug you, by the way they kiss you, by the way they don't want you to leave when you have to leave. Drop dead loyal is always better than drop dead gorgeous. Are the two mutually exclusive? I've had women that are absolutely gorgeous models by the world's standards. Every last single one was a disloyal, unfaithful piece of manure because they operate on their looks, which are decreasing by the day. That wall is getting closer and closer and closer, and no amount of chemical peels, or Botox, or plastic surgeries, or teeth whitening, or braces, or highlighting of haircuts, or losing weight, or getting skinny, or breast implants, or liposuction, nothing is going to prevent the wall from smacking them in the head. Man, that took a lot of energy to say that. Drop Dead Faithful, always better than Drop Dead Gorgeous. Passport chicks, women traveling to Thailand, Southeast Asia. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different than passport bros. How do I know? I was a passport bro. And you know who you meet when you're a passport bro? You meet women from abroad. You know who passport chicks meet? American dudes who are passport bros. So basically, they're going to have irresponsible, reckless sex with American men in Southeast Asia, or Dutch men, or French men. Passport chicks, passport hoes. That's just pure wanderlust. Having a restless heart, having wandering eyes. Show me a woman that goes overseas to meet men and have adventures. Eiffel Tower in the back, a Thai beach in the background, thatched huts, hammocks, Machu Picchu, reckless, irresponsible, putting off life. No different than women who travel for business. Because what happens on the business trip stays on the business trip. Ask me how I know. Where do women stay when they travel for business? Hotels. Where's the action? Hotel bars. Ask me how I know. Nothing against Ukraine, nothing against Israel. I just hate their fucking governments. People, they're okay. The governments, they're fucked up. And they're using young men and women as pawns. Every government is fucking evil. If it's not a monarchy that honors God, if it's a duly elected Democrat, that's the thing, duly elected Democrat government, bullshit. Bullshit. All governments are evil. They're soulless, feelingless, demonic entities that send you and your sons and your grandsons to die. And it won't be long before they're sending your daughters and granddaughters to die. Like I said, Ukraine, Israel, I got nothing against the people. Nothing. It's the fucking governments that are fucked up. Same thing with the United States. I got nothing against the American people at all. It's the government. As soon as you elect somebody, I know this is how it is in America. As soon as you elect somebody, you put your trust in them, something switches. Something happens in their head where they stop representing you when they get to Congress, when they get to the town hall, when they get to the Senate. Something happens. They're all fucked up. They're all bought. They're all bribed. They're all blackmailed. Every last fucking one. Yeah, but what about? They're all fucking wrong. Every fucking last one of them. Every single one of them. You be the politician in your own life. Remember, those motherfuckers put masks on you. And they okayed it when companies wanted you to roll up your sleeve. Roll this up, right here. I just can't sustain Angry George. I can't do it. I'm not an angry person, although I do have an anger problem, in the sense that I get enraged about not getting things done. So I use rage and anger as fuel to get things done during the day, to get my work done, to go a little bit further, to move the ball down the field a little bit more. That's how you end the year strong. That's how you start the new year even stronger. Someone says to you, you have an anger problem. Your new response is going to be, thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Formerly masked and vaxxed nurses at a certain hospital in my area are now on strike. But wait, I clearly remember 2 years ago during the sheep-demic, banners and signs and clapping welcoming committees at hospitals saying, yay, heroes work here. Where's those fucking heroes now? Those fucking heroes that all were fucking afraid, that all rolled up their fucking sleeves, every fucking last one, they're heroes now? Get the... Happiness and contentment is not in your future if you think you need one more dollar, a better watch, a hair transplant, a better house or apartment. Don't delay your happiness or make it contingent on anything other than your decision to be content and happy. More muscles is not going to make you happy. A bigger bank account, a Rolex is not going to make you happy. Decide to be happy and content with what you have now. And you'll take that happiness and contentment into your future. I love it when these MGTOW guys who rolled up their sleeve 2 years ago telling me how risky it is to get married. You can't make that shit up. Wow, dude, you really went your own way, didn't you? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here, put it right here. Put it right here. Guess what you really, when you say put it right here, you know what you really meant? Put it right here. That's what you meant. If you rolled up your sleeve and you're a fucking MGTOW, you're Don't fucking tell me about going your own way when you're listening to your fucking government. Stop it. That's why no one takes you seriously. MGTOW forever. Right here, please. I love these stories where a guy says, and then I lost everything. No, you didn't. You didn't lose your skills or lessons that you learned. Wait a minute. You learned from your failure, right? You learned from your divorce, right? You learned from the failed business, right? Or are you going to be bitching the rest of your freaking life about how you lost everything? She says to me, why do you hate women so much? I replied, I love women. My daughter, my mother, my girlfriend, my loyal female friends. But let me ask you a question. If you're acquiring a new car, would you expect the odometer to be low? Of course. If you're buying a new car, you want 0 miles on it. Why? Because miles on the odometer is indicative that it has been driven before. Or if you're acquiring a used car, what is the most important factor? She says, low mileage. Then she stopped, caught herself, looked at me and said, okay, I get it now. I love the phrase sun, stake, and steel. That right there is the prescription for everything that ails you. Everything. That feeling when you're walking through an old downtown shopping district and you see a used bookstore and you get kind of excited. You walk in and it's a labyrinth of shelves from floor to ceiling. They're grayish brown, the shelves are. There's a certain old smell in the bookstore. There's a cat curled up on a shelf. And because you love books and reading, the person you're with says, how long do you think you'll be? Am I right? Am I right about that? How long do you think you'll be? Because I'll just do my shopping or I'll come back and get you. And you're like, thank God. You know, when you stutter a little bit because you can't give them an accurate answer of when you'll be done. There's a new room every 10 feet in this store. A guy with a beard and a pipe and an old brass cash register puts an interesting bookmark in your book. He knows where every topic is, and also what looks like chaos to you is perfectly organized in his head. And he can take you to the exact book that you want. And these places, of course, are like dollar stores. You know, you never walk out buying just one thing. You encounter a staircase and there's stacked books on each step going up. You get excited as you walk up the steps knowing you'll find something interesting. You get to the second floor and discover every room is filled with books. And they even knocked out the wall to the building next door. And there's more rooms where the books go on forever and ever. You get a little bit of anxiety because you know your friend will be back any minute now. And they'll say, well, you're going to have to come back by yourself, right? This is why when you encounter a used bookstore, it's better to encounter it by yourself. Never take a non-reader with you, ever. You even thought to yourself, geez, I would like to have a business like this someday. You know, the guy with the beard seemed to be insulated from the nonsense of the world. He seemed peaceful, didn't he? He wasn't overly friendly, but he was very responsive to your inquiries. You looked at the counter near his register. You saw a coffee mug with pens, some old campaign buttons, a rubber stamp and a pad, and half a sandwich and an insulated coffee mug. He was so busy that day, he only had time for half of his sandwich. I can still see his brown roll-neck sweater with the worn cuffs over the light blue button-down Oxford. And this movie plays in my head when I think of things that aren't there anymore, things like old bookstores or knick-knack stores. There are two emotions involved. Number one, the excitement you felt when stopping on the sidewalk and looking up and seeing the sign that said used books. The other emotion is the calming effect you experience when looking back and thinking about that used bookstore. Ode to used bookstores. It's okay to have receding hair, to be bald or losing your hair. You don't have to obsess over it. Stop thinking about getting a hair transplant. The reality is, most, not all, hair transplants look like shit after many years anyways. Let's get real. You want a hair transplant? Go get one. But just realize it's not going to be like the before and after pictures that you see. As a guy that has cut hair for many years, I've cut many, many heads that have hair transplants. Some are really good. Some are really good, but you never really know. They only use the best pictures to market their services. But the reality is this, and I've thought of it. I actually, believe it or not, I had a Turkish doctor offer to fly me out, put me up in a hotel in Istanbul, and give me a full hair transplant. Kind of bring back my hairline and all that. That was probably 1.5 to 2 years ago. Will I do it in the future? Probably not. You know why? Because I shaved my head so many times, and I don't mind a shaved head. I don't need hair to have any swagger. I don't need hair to be persuasive and influential. I don't need hair to be happy. My happiness is not dependent upon the amount of hair on my head or on my face. Stop obsessing over your hair, my brother. Stop it. Well, it's time for the annual It's Better to Be Single and Wish You Were Married Than Married and Wish You Were Single. 2008, all the friends you lost because you knew Obama was nothing but a fraud and a propped-up Manchurian president, they weren't friends. 2012, all the friends you lost because you talked about chemtrails, fluoride, and vaccines, they weren't friends. 2016, all the friends you lost because of politics weren't friends. 2020, all the friends you lost over your medical freedom being threatened and medical freedom issues all around the world like it was a fucking orchestrated symphony, they weren't friends. 2023, all the friends you lost over not supporting Ukraine or Israel aren't friends. 2024, I wonder how else we will be divided. Do you see a pattern here? Step away from the bullshit. Take an aerial view of what's happening, and all of a sudden, you get a new set of lens. You see what's happening. You see how you're being manipulated. I'm probably about 15 years into not being manipulated. You know who I stand with? Me. You know who I stand with? You. And that's what you should do. Last week, I turned off notifications on my phone. No more dinging, no more vibrating when I get a text or an email. Particularly the texting actually creates a little anxiety before it produces peace because you're so used to everything from bank account alerts to friends, to coworkers, people, wives and girlfriends. May they never meet. Just kidding. You're so used to responding to texts, aren't you? When I turned off my notifications, it did kind of freak me out a little bit, I have to tell you, because it did create anxiety. I found myself still wanting to check my phone to see if anyone reached out to me. Like, what are you going to do about it? Have you turned off notifications on your phone? And why do you need to be fucking notified every time somebody fucking farts? It's going to create anxiety, I guarantee it. It's going to. You obsessively check your phone just in case, and it's never anything that can't be replied to later, is it? Your phone has you trained. Admit it. And for men, your alpha widowed woman cheats through her phone. Oh yeah, that's right. Your girlfriend, your wife is an alpha widow. You were her second choice most likely. All her past guys are on her phone or work phone. That I can guarantee. And it's always a coworker or her niece texting or calling. Oh, that was just my niece. Oh, that was just my coworker. Okay? And her ringtones? Pay attention, gentlemen, to her ringtones. Is it Van Halen's Jump? And you thought that was just her niece or a coworker or a friend. Really? Go ahead and jump. Or The Doors, Come On Baby, Light My Fire. Or George Thorogood, Bad to the Bone. And you thought that was just a cute little ringtone she had. Those are from the guy at work or past boyfriends that made her bite a pillow. Years ago, I said every woman's phone is nothing but a box of dicks. I initially said it jokingly, but even I found out the hard way. It's quite accurate. There's always a contingency of men, especially naive Christian men, who are going to be offended at this. These are the same guys that are like, well, just find a woman that doesn't believe in divorce. I've had a lot of women that don't believe in divorce, but they certainly believed in monkey branching. Just a quick little note, they are the ones who email me a year or two later to say I was right, the men. You found out the hard way, like I did, like most men do. And guess what? It's all good, bro. Now you need a plan of action. What will you do differently in the future? And everybody thought that a certain red-pilled manosphere guy was crazy when he talked about asking her for her phone to check her texts. You thought he was crazy, didn't you? There's some wisdom in that. Men, you can easily be judged by the behavior of your ex-wife or last girlfriend. I have a question for you. What did you tolerate that you will never tolerate again? If you're single, okay? If you're now single after you and your wife or girlfriend broke up, what did you tolerate during that relationship or marriage that you will never tolerate again? You need to make that list. You know why? Because you're doomed to repeat it again, just with a different woman. The current you isn't sufficient for moving to the next level. Something must change. Where you are now, what you possess now as far as your skills, your temperament, your attitude, your habits, is not going to get you to the next level. What has to change? Mentally, physically, logistically? What needs to change in your life, relationship-wise, in order for you to get to the next level? What are the things holding you back? Where is the ballast in your life that is holding you down like a hot air balloon that can't take off? What needs to be cut in order for you to elevate in your life? That's one of the things that my coaching will help you through. If you need to book a call, email me. It's not cheap, but neither is staying stuck. In my coaching, there's one question that makes all men stop, be quiet, and think, and that is this. These are the guys that have gone through or are going through breakups and divorces. I ask this question: when did she lose respect for you? At that point, the coaching always takes a different direction. Always. Everything changes. And guess what? Most men can pinpoint exactly when she lost respect for him. And with that, finish your creatine and your medium rare ribeye, and I'll see you on the next Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason. And no begging.
Czy to kutno, czy to gniezno, niech się łączy w noc bezgwiezdną, ale diabli go nie wezmą, tylko ja. La 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 la, ale diabli go nie wezmą, tylko ja.